For more than 18 months, Nigeria and the breakaway region of Biafra have been at war. Biafra, which calls itself the land of the rising sun, is fighting for the right to be a separate state. And the federal Nigerians are fighting to keep Nigeria one country. It's a bloody and a costly war with bitter feelings on both sides. At first, Biafra was successful. Many federal prisoners fell into their hands. Biafran troops took much of the neighboring Midwest region. Refugees fled from both sides, away into the bush and often to starvation. The Federals planned a counter-offensive. With more troops, better arms and equipment, they drove back the Biafrans, first into their own region and then even further back, into the heart of Igbo country. Biafrans were captured, their country surrounded and besieged. The land of the rising sun has shrunk to this, roughly 100 miles long and 40 miles deep. Inside Biafra, life is grim. Though their little state is well organized, food and medical supplies are scarce. Relief teams are overworked. Relief organizations, the Red Cross, the Roman Catholic Caritas, and Oxfam, they all send aid, but it can never be enough. Millions of Biafrans, many sick and wounded, have left their own villages and fled into this tiny area. This is the cost of the war in terms of human misery. In besieged Biafra, starvation stares millions in the face. A ladle of food may make the difference between life and a slow death. But for many who are not involved with the politics of this war, it may only put off starvation for a few more weeks. In the east, Colonel Ojukwu was determined on independence.
Nigeria is 3 sovereignties trying to decide whether they should be together or part companies. The federation, the term federation is only a name.
In Lagos, the federal capital, Major General Gowon saw it as an internal quarrel.
Civil war, possibly. One would say that it will be just added on the list of civil wars that have happened in other places and in the past.
The West and Midwest regions, with Lagos the capital on the coast. This is Yoruba country, the homeland of the most westernized of Nigeria's 3 major tribes. With them, women are on an equal footing with men. Lagos is the biggest and liveliest of the West African capitals. The Yoruba live mainly in towns. Half a dozen of them have more than 100,000 people. Every day, the roads and buildings of Lagos look more and more like any West European city. But even Lagos isn't the largest Yoruba city. The largest is Ibadan, the biggest city in West Africa, with nearly 1.5 million inhabitants. That's more than Birmingham. Here, Yoruba traders meet northern herdsmen, and there's thriving trade between the regions. Northern Nigeria is like another country, with a different culture. This is a Muslim land, which worships Allah and Muhammad, his prophet. Black Africans, yes, but with Arab culture. This is a region adapting gradually to the modern world, conscious of long traditions of Muslim culture. The local chiefs or emirs are the center of authority. The British ruled through them when they colonized the north. Today, the emir still wields power, but with the help of councils. The north is poor compared with other regions and not very progressive. There are few schools, few skilled jobs, and little industry. Herds of longhorn cattle provide meat and skins. But tanning is a primitive industry, though some skins are exported. But the staple industry of the north is groundnuts or peanuts. They grow millions of tons of them and stack them in great pyramids. But the north is nothing like as rich as the eastern region. Across the mighty Niger River lies Igbo country, rich and very densely populated. Among the branches of the Niger Delta and in the lush tropical forests live several smaller tribes, but the Igbos are the dominant group. Most Igbos are Christian. A missionary education gives them the key to top jobs in the Federal Civil Service and the Army. Many left their overcrowded region and took important jobs in the north and the west. The eastern region is the richest part of Nigeria. Tall palm trees grow wild across the region and yield kernels and palm oil, rich in vitamins and a valuable export. Rubber trees thrive here too, and the roughly processed rubber is another important export. But above all, the region has oil. Two-thirds of Nigeria's oil comes from the eastern region, and about half of that from the very center, the Igbo homeland. The potential value of oil is immense, and foreign companies have invested vast sums of money in it. But the coup did not succeed in Lagos itself. Those politicians who survived asked the army to take control, and Major General Ironsi, an Igbo, took over. He concentrated authority in Lagos and cut down the power of the regions. It looked as if the Igbos were bidding to run the whole country, and the north was suspicious. In May, Ironsi abolished the regions by decree. This was the last straw for the north. There were riots and another coup. Ironsi's regime fell after barely 6 months. At Ibadan, among northern troops, he was killed. Looting, rioting, ambushing left thousands of Igbos dead. Northerners took advantage of the confusion to work off their long pent-up anger at the economic success of Igbos who'd migrated into their own region. 1 million Igbos fled back to the east, wounded, homeless, afraid for their lives. Indeed, for the Igbos, originally the advocates of strong central control, this was proof that a united federal Nigeria was no longer workable. They felt their lives and property were not safe outside their own region. Out of the chaos, a new federal leader emerged in September 1966, Major General Gowan. He was a northerner but a Christian. a man from a small tribe, not a Hausa or a Fulani.
All foreigners in Nigeria are assured of their personal safety and should have no fear of being molested. We shall continue with vigor the policy of providing a climate conducive and attractive to foreign investors.
His first statement reassured foreigners with investments in Nigeria. This is one of the keys to the problem. Oil investments are worth perhaps £200 million already, and in total, foreign investments top £300 million. Foreign powers have a lot at stake in this war.